Okay, today we are going to see, is it my slides are clear? Mohammed, is it my slides are clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, great. So I start my presentation. So today we are going to see. Okay, great, thanks. Today my presentation is going to be on innovation for biologists, and so it will be, as usual, we need to have a content of the presentation. That content of the presentation is going to be like patent and trademarks, design and copyright and integrated circuits and layout designs and GI, geographic indications, and plant varieties and farmers' rights, and finally trade secret and confidential information. So acknowledgement I need to do it for two, one individual and one institute. That is Mr. Kumara Venkatesan, who taught me IPR, and also Institution Innovation Council, Institution IAC from New Delhi, the cell which I have trained as an innovation ambassador. Okay. I start with a quote with myself and Dr. Balakumar, who is a top 1 scientist in Stanford University, and the last 6 years, and also every year. So it is inevitable to create a vibrant environment where active research, innovation, entrepreneurship should become amiably infectious, eventually pandemic, for the progression of nation and the world, bringing new knowledge, productiveness, emulsion, equality, opportunity for substantial benefits of the entire creation. This is what we say. So we have to do a research for the humanity. So every incremental changes, solving a local problem is very important. So most of you might be knowing that there is a Elsevier research. Elsevier is one of the largest group of publisher group of which is publishing a group of journals. So according to quantity, they are the largest in numbers in the current situation. They have a Elsevier Researcher Academy. So if you go there and we can log in into that, and with the ORS ID, there are almost like 18 videos are there. So we can unlock our research potential, and it's all free of cost, where top scientists, they train the people. So it's videos. Once you complete the videos, you will get certificates too. So it's not only certificates, it's also important to gain the knowledge. That's very important. So starting from research innovation, writing for research and so on, you can go publication process, and we can writing a proposal. Like there are 18 certificates are there. Not only Elsevier, Springer and Taylor & Francis, they also offer such courses online, which is free of cost. So what is the innovation for a biologist? That's the first thing, definition. Before starting this we should know that development and application of novel ideas, methods, technologies or process in the field of biology. That's very important. That is the innovation for biology. So we are trying to solve a problem, and that will once we understand the biology, it's most of biologists, what they think, they will know biology, that's more than enough. It's not so. So we need to know the fundamental science, including mathematics, chemistry, physics. These all we should understand, and we apply these concepts in our biology, then we can solve a problem. So I start with the first one. This is a very special act. One of the leading pharmaceutical company from Switzerland, they have discovered, or I can say invented, a drug which can stop blood cancer. So chronic myeloid leukemia, that is a blood cancer. So the process is accidental. What happened? They have a chemical. That chemical they are patented for some other disease. After this, they start developing modifying the same chemical with a smaller modification, and they found this is going to treat a cancer, particularly blood cancer, and that is the first oral medicine. Probably you know that generally all the medicine it goes intravenous, but generally this one is a oral drug. So it is very famous. They applied everywhere. They got patent by country-wise country. So you know the patent is not a world patent. It should be applied by country by country. So they applied to India. There is a special act, Section 3D of 1970 Act. 1970, it's a act is a Patent Act. Probably you know that. So that act, there is a special section. If you have X compound and you are patented for something else, and you make small modification and you found that accidentally it is also curing some other disease, it cannot be granted for patent. So Supreme Court of India did not accept this patent application, so their application was disqualified. So it's a special act. What I'm saying, the point is, not only knowing the biology, the law is also important. If you want to become patent officer, is techno-legal officer. You should know technical biology as well as legal. Both is very important for any person. So the second point is innovation. Like you know, recently the scientists in Japan, they have discovered the compound from onion, sulfur compounds and allinase, which goes into your eye and it makes it tears. So they have removed the gene responsible for that. Once it's removed, this is going to be without these compounds. So even if we cut the onion, we will not get tears. Of course, there are some other techniques also there. If you put the onion in the water and if you are in the freezer, then if you cut, the compound release of sulfur compound and this allinase enzyme will be less. But permanently to remove this one, they have made a modification. So the idea is innovation. We see a problem in our society and we apply using science and technology, we solve it. Then it can be patented. So most of you know that glucose sensor. So glucose biosensor is one of the sensor which have been you know that it's very simple process. The scientist who's Professor Anthony Turner, who's from UK, he has a patent for this technology. So every step which we are selling, he is getting a small amount of money. So what is that? Very simple. He knows glucose oxidase, the enzyme will oxidize the glucose, and he put it in a small matrix. But then blood is there. In blood inside the glucose is there. So you know how much glucose is there. Based on that, the compounds will be produced. Then he made a small sensor. So see the complex issue. Every complex issue, the solution is very simple. Okay. Probably the another one, epiglottis. Epiglottis, we all always it's a problem for the old people and also sometimes for the young people also. Epiglottis is a special one which we have in the throat. So if you see the one wall which will allow the food as well as the air. So that is why whenever we eat, we should not speak. So it is a two process. Eating is one process, speaking is one process, breathing. So if you do all this at the same time, there can be a confusion in epiglottis movement, then we get a cough. So that is the reason we should avoid that. So the older people, the brain which controls the epiglottis, which is not giving a proper signal, then the problem starts. So that is the epiglottis problem for the people. So we can solve, still the problem is not solved. Probably you might have seen, if you have old people in their home and if they are hospitalized, they say sodium potassium pump is a problem. So always, particularly with the cardiac one, if the sodium potassium pump is being controlled or it is monitored, it is useful to save a life. Okay. Probably you know that India, Pakistan, there is a basmati rice is there. For biryani we use it. It's between India and Pakistan there is a Himalayan region is there where we have a basmati rice. It's a special aroma. So what scientists from India who went to US, he started a company and he modified a gene of a gene with the basmati aroma and the texture. So and he started, he applied for patent, the US government has granted patent, and finally it is a big problem for India and Pakistan because we are selling this basmati rice to all over the world. So our economy will be affected. So what they said, so India has represented this case to US government in US court. Finally the patent was disqualified. The same thing with the turmeric. Again, turmeric probably whenever there is a injury in our, any cut is there in our body, what we do, we take apply a turmeric and we see a immediate cure there. So what happened? Indian scientist, origin scientist in US again got a patent. So what we did, we applied for again for the to the US court in Supreme Court, and again the US patent was disqualified. So finally what the Indian government they did, all the government in the world they started saying that if traditional knowledge is there, it cannot be applied for a patent. That is why TKDL has come, Traditional Knowledge Digital Library. So before officer grants patent, that officer will go through the traditional knowledge. It will have all the knowledge within all the languages. So if there is a natural compound as applied for any drug or something, so that should be disqualified. So that's very important. So one person cannot go on that, but process can be patented. Example, the same turmeric, it's involved, instead of patenting a turmeric, the process of extracting a turmeric or process of extracting some other compound from in medicine, herbal oriented, that possible is there. They, as I said, whole natural compound cannot be patented. That's very important. Probably you know that we have to apply science in our everyday life. So all of you might have, when we were childhood, we might have written something on the wall. That means we did not get that attention from our parents. That's the message. So what the idea is, we have to apply. So probably you know that in the world how the world has been populated. Where is the first human being started? So according to the scientists in the US who wants to record journey of man, probably you know that all of us have only 4 letters: adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. So if you see this, this 4 letters is going to make a big difference. But we are all see difference. A lot of difference are there. So we are all unique people. Only 4 letters are there. So the point which says the first human being started in somewhere in Africa. If you see on the screen, from Africa they traveled to Australia and by walk, and probably the person who started in Africa, he might have reached a long time to Australia, 3 or 4 generations after that. So the person who started might have not reached the Australia. This was the case. So the gene, all of us, we have African gene. What it says, the color of the skin and the color of the eye, color of the hair, all these are changed only some 10,000 or 20,000 years ago. Okay. What is patent? Patent means in Latin it's a lay open. So I'm not going further, we'll go to that. Every year in April 26, World IPR Day is observed to celebrate what is IPR, intellectual property right. We have to respect the IPR of ourselves as well as others. That's very important. So creativity, out of box thinking is very important. The day has gone that people have started just by hearting this subjects and reproducing in the exam and getting a marks. I think now who are creative, out of box thinking, who can solve the problem in the society, they are going to have a better life. There are types of IPR. There are, we can say, movable, immovable property, a tangible, intangible movement. So IPR comes under intangible property. So Intangible means which we cannot measure it as such. Example, if you have some a pen, I have a pen, then I have a pen and I'm showing that this pen, you can guess what is the value. So same time, if I have discovered a medicine that may change the whole world, example corona vaccine, or if someone is going to find a medicine for HIV, so that will change the entire world. So intangible asset is something IPR. So we have to give importance to the intangible asset. In one of the companies, Fujitsu, it's filing a patent every year, every day one patent. So you imagine they are accumulating their asset. Like we are buying a property, we are buying a land, we are buying a car or something, we are buying gold. The same way they are accumulating patent. That all these patents one day they are going to fetch them revenue. So generally the IPR comes under like a patent, trademark, copyright, design, GI, trade secret and plant practice. We'll see one by one, not very in detail, because this is going to be a broader lecture or a broader talk which is for the audience. So patent, there is a term we use, applicant. Applicant is the meaning owner. Trademark, owner of the mark or logo, the company. So if you see a company, then we say Tata means TATA, Tata, Coca-Cola or Amazon, A to Z. So design is a product. If there is a pen is there again, the pen is the way how it looks, just outer look is the design. So sometimes people confuse between the patent and design. In India, design is called only outer look, whereas in US it's also called a patent. Okay. Generally in science and technology, the outcome is one of the IPRs. So before we publish, definitely we should file one of the IPRs. What are the patent strategy one has to do that? Just we need to first identify the problem like a research. Then it's called a prior art. We have to search the patents either in a WIPO or Indian IPR portal or a US patent, or there are a lot of search engines on there you can search. If you want Google patents also, one option is there. Then you find a gap, then you do a research, then you have some novel product or novel process, then you can go for a patent. So once it's developing a prototype and you can file it. So the point is, before publishing you have to file a patent. That's very important. Finally you have to get money. So what we are talking today, it's we have to generate money. So the IPR will generate money. That's very important. So trademark. So once we see a product, then we will come to a conclusion, this is a good product. So once we see a company, like example FedEx, you know that FedEx is a courier company. So it takes, if you see a combination of different color, blue color and red color or dark red. So if you see maroon color, so the combination, if you see, it's like a track. So it takes a document from one place to another. So it will reach even a document any corner of the world within few days. So it's that's the way. If you see, next one is, if you see Amazon, A to Z is there, they are selling a product from A to Z. If you see Mercedes-Benz, it's a car company. So on, we can keep going. There is a meaning also they convey. Sometimes there is no difference. Example, Apple is there. So if you see, there are different colors of Apple, white, black, they use it, all the colors they use it. They want to block, they don't want to use any company's Apple. That's the idea. Okay, what is copyright? Copyright is very important. Generally, as a biologist, we should do some process. Even your process can be copyrighted. If you have some novel process, just return it. If you, whatever you write, it's a copyright. If you write a poem, if you write even a song, if you write, if you take a photograph, it's a copyright. Generally, young people, they immediately upload it in a social media, Instagram or so Twitter or something like that, then we lose a copyright. What we should do, we should watermark on the photo, and then we have to upload, we have to convert as an image into PDF or something, we can upload it. So if somebody wants to buy your photo, then they will approach. I'll show you some in one of the later slides. I'll show you an example. What was that? Design I already mentioned, it's only outer look of anything. So it doesn't mean patent. So it doesn't mean what is the engine is there in a bike. It's only a shape of any material or any instrument or any vehicle, whatever. So design is also important. So all of us can contribute design. Okay, GA I already mentioned. GA is geographic indication. If Tanjore hot plate is also GA, and also Kanjipuram silk saree is GA, and so on. So in the state, Karnataka is one of the topmost state which has a large amount of GAs there. So mere arrangements cannot be. It's not a IPR. So there is a helmet is there, and if you bring it as a head, it is not that. So the invention should be there. That's very important. That's the point we want to say. Generally patent for 20 years, so that's very important. Up to 20 years we can exploit. Trademark, there is no limit, whereas copyright lifetime of authors plus 60 years, design 10 plus 5 years, and layout design 10 years. GA there is no limit, but it can be renewed every 10 years, plant where it is. So we are in the earlier side we were talking about the onion. So in onion they removed the gene which is responsible for alliinase and also sulfur compounds. These are the compounds responsible for our tears. So plant varieties also scientists can file a patent and they can do it. If the onion is going to be sold in the market, the revenue will be shared to the scientist to some percentage. Okay, probably you must know so far what we saw seen. First thing is what is the word, which language is derived. You know that it's from Latin. Patent is a lay open. Next, what is intellectual property comes under. I did not mention that it is called negative right. Positive right means something different. Negative rights is something different. And intangible asset that we have seen in the earlier slide. Negative right and intangible assets. Patent is valid for generally how many years? Just before a few slides we have seen, it's for 20 years. It's all over words, same one. So generally in India, filing a patent, design product comes, design is always comes under design. People generally mislead, or generally the people think they apply for design and they got a patent design and they say patent. It is not that. So patent and designs are different one. Generally copyright is, why copyright is valid for 60 years? It's a very important question. Generally we need to ask questions for why 60 years, not 59 years, not 61 years. There is a reason. In US, Walt Disney characters, they want to keep themselves, so the US has brought a law to keep, after Walt Disney demise, they want to keep the law for 60 years. So that is why it has been 60 years. So all the countries we are following the same law. That's the reason is there. So far the first part is over. So we have seen patent, trademark, design, copyright, integrated circuits and layout design called GI, plant varieties and farmers' right, trade secret. Trade secret is a classical example, KFC recipe or McDonald's. We are going to see in detail later. So this is a process generally. Generally there is a process is there to apply a patent. So provisional patent is the first thing, is a mid-temporary application. Within 12 months you can apply for complete specification. So specification is an application, here we use it. So then we have to 18 months we have to publish it. Every Friday Indian IPR office will be publishing a magazine in the 5 o'clock. You will see all the patent, copyright, IPR related acts, and within 48 months then you can ask for the yearly examination for the officer. Then you can ask for yearly examination. Then once you ask all, if you answer all the questions asked by the officer, it may be granted or it may be disqualified. So the decision will be taken by the officer. Finally, it's awarded or rejected. It takes generally 3 years. But if your product or a patent is very closer to the Indian priority list. In the Government of India has a set of priority list, like biomedical drugs, something like energy, or these are the things which if you apply, they may grant very sooner. I mean, they process the application faster. The reason is one of the leading countries in the world, our highest patent filed by every year is China, then followed as the US. So Indian government is encouraging all young people, scientists to file a patent. So when before publishing your results, if you have a invention there, then you can definitely, if the commercial value is there, you can file a patent. There are different research instruments are there. I'll share the slides to you. So all the slides, you can go through that and you can see that. There is another online course is there. Of course, there is a time is there, then I can teach you. Otherwise, I can teach you. I can explain to one of the organizers. So they will teach you. It's a free courses available online. WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, Geneva, Switzerland. It's offering courses. So you can do such courses. One of the patent which you have been filed for Indian Air Force, and you can see the patent application, generally patent certificate something like this. You will see. So this patent we have filed and granted for Indian Air Force. So Indian Air Force first patent. You can see that always Karnataka tops number one, and like Tamil Nadu is the second one. So in a GA. So GA is very important. The more number of geographic indication, you know what is GA, Tanjavur art plate, Kanjipuram silk saree, these all GA. The more product is a premium product, people will come and buy the products, and so we cannot make Tirupati Laddu in Tanjavur. Tirupati Laddu is also GA. So somebody cannot make somewhere in any one of the corner of the world, and they cannot claim Tirupati Laddu. They can claim Laddu, not Tirupati Laddu. Somebody cannot make a doll somewhere and they cannot claim Tanjavur doll. Tanjavur doll should be made within the certain kilometers radius, and there is an official society will be there. Tanjavur art plate is there. So somebody goes to Kanjipuram and buy a silk saree, and they give as a gift to someone else. So the product should be protected. That is why the reason is GA is very important. Just a minute. So I already said WIPO e-learning center is very important. There are a lot of courses are there. It's also important you can have in your CV or biodata. So you know that you will be hired if you have a IPR certificates. That means you understand IPR. So I have one of the important certificates run by WIPO, World Health Organization, World Trade Organization. These are the three organizations. They give one certificate. It's an open book system. It is offered only once in a year. You can have this book and you can write. So minimum 60 or 70 marks you should get to get this certificate. It's quite easy. So imagine, I don't know how many of you know that there is a medical technology innovation is there. That innovation is going to save a life on someone. So I don't know whether you have seen some of the movies called Terminal. It's a famous movie, a Hollywood movie. In that movie, a person from a foreigner who goes to New York and buy a medicine for his father, and he wants to take the medicine to his father, to his country, because the medicine is available only in the US. So if he takes the medicine, his father's life will be saved. But the officer will stop him because the US law says the medicine cannot be taken from the US without permission of US government. Otherwise, the medicine can be taken only for the animals, whereas it cannot be taken for the human being. So what it says, the law stops. So the translator of the person, because he speaks in different language, so the translators, he understands the situation. He says instead of human being, he is taking for an animal. So that is the situation. I mean the story goes beyond that. If you have a time, you can see the movie, Terminal movie. So it's one of the Steven Spielberg movie. So here what I'm saying, innovation is and law are contradictory. Innovation is there. There is a technology which can save a life. Example, spinal cord, a child is saved for a 12 crores medicine, but the medicine is high cost. So the import duty itself 4 crores, 5 crores. So government will give a subsidy. So the company has invested a lot of R&D, research and development. So what it says, so to save a life is important, medicine is somewhere there. So in between, the money plays a major role. Yeah, a life, medicine, in between, money is there. So we are making compromise. So that is if you go through the course, you will see that there are PCT. I'm not going very detailed because already close to 40 minutes. So if you see patent cooperation treaty, it's one of the patent you can apply to the different countries in different way. One is you can apply to India. If you are a patent in India, then you can apply to another country. There is another way is after applying in India through PCT, through Switzerland office also you can apply. There are 2 ways also there. So there are some certificates which will not offer certificates, but it's free of cost, and it has something on that. There are some primer on IP, and there are some IP panorama. These are the fundamentals where you know intellectual property rights and even the patent information, and also distance learning. I already mentioned PCT, and this is my dashboard. These are the courses when you can do online, and what are the free courses you can do it. Now we are going to see a few before completing this talk. We are going to see a few patent disputes. So you will understand what is patent and what is dispute. Example, in 2008 or 2007, you must have noticed there is a twin spark engine is come. Bajaj is the first company which has started the button start. Earlier in India, we don't have that system. So they have brought called digital twin spark ignition technology. So whereas TVS also brought similar technology. So there is a infringement. Bajaj has invented something. TVS also invented something, but there is an infringement. The infringement is a bigger problem. So both of them went to court, and the court said, okay, keep the profit, sell the bikes. By the time after 10 years, the technology become outdated. So this is the one such a patent information. Probably you might have seen that right to yourself. Microsoft owner is Bill Gates. Bill Gates wants to release Microsoft. He announced a date for his Windows. So the problem is started. He wants to have an algorithm for his new Microsoft with the latest some modification. Whereas same time, left side, Richie Richardson, who is the Australian programmer, who has a company in US, in New York, he has already patented. In US, algorithm can be patented, where in India it can be copyrighted. So the law is different. The law is different from country to country. So what I said, Bill Gates, without asking permission from Bill Richardson, he took the algorithm and used it. So what happened? Finally, this person has sued on Microsoft. Finally, he gave a large amount of money, which nobody knows that how much money he gave it. The case was settled, something like that. So already we discussed in the copyright about Walt Disney character in earlier slides. So Walt Disney, the first this one, which is a Mickey Mouse version of Steamboat one, is already been in the public domain. That means anyone can use this Walt Disney character for us creativity, and Walt Disney cannot sue us. But another Walt Disney demised 59 years and some 10 days, something like that, because this slide I prepared some 1 week before. So if you see that in 1 year is going to be the Walt Disney character is going to come to the public domain. So everyone can use the Walt Disney characters. Otherwise, if the US is going to extend the copyright, then we also need to do. All the countries will follow the US. Coca-Cola, it's one of the trade secrets. Coca-Cola information, the secret of the information will be knowing only for 2 people. So both cannot meet, both cannot travel together. So if we know the Coca-Cola secret, we will prepare in the home and we will drink. So the whole company lies on the secret of the Coca-Cola. So same way KFC recipe is also 23 herbs are there. The person who started KFC in Kentucky, he went for a job to more than 100 shops. He said, I have a recipe, I can make better chicken, but nobody hired him. So he started his own chicken shop. Finally now, all around the world, there is many KFC chicken. People are working and there are a lot of revenues are there. If the recipe is known to the world, then people will copy it. So the recipe also is one of the trade secret. So the secret is protected, so the company is surviving. So it's very important. So IPR is very important. We have in India lot of recipes and which is not commercialized. So once we make a commercialization, like Dindikal Talapakati biryani is also one of the trademarks. So the trademark is protected, not biryani, trademark. First time in Dindikal Talapakati, the persons they started, they are legalized, they are doing a business now around the world. The similar way, there is another company who started same name, so they start fighting and finally went to Supreme Court and they won the case. So Dindikal Talapakati biryani is a trademark of a company. Okay, we started about, we discussed about the camera. Generally youngsters, they take a photograph, immediately they post Instagram or some social media. You will lose the copyright. That's the point we have mentioned that. It's actually, there is a monkey in Indonesia zoo, one of the zoos where UK traveler who went by accidentally, he left his camera inside the cage. So the monkey took the camera and taken a selfie. So now the copyright is something who the money generated from the monkey selfie, it goes to either monkey or a zoo or the owner of the camera. Between these two, there is a dispute is there. So it's like something the dispute of Ilayaraja and the song. So a song is taken by, created by a musician who makes a small one, music, a singer and a lyricist and a background musician. So it's under producer. This combination of all these people, they make a song. So now we have a clear law, so we can make the revenue can be always shared between themselves. So we have another 2 or 3 slides. Before that, we have probably I have taken another copyright issue. So this is comes under National Geography. So one of the photographer who took a person, a woman eye with a green eye. Green eye, the reason you know that green is the only color we don't have in our body. That is why we have a green mat. So whenever there is a graphics are there, we take a green mat and we do that graphics and we use it. That woman has been taken a photograph. Instead of posting on social media, he has given to National Geography. So he got a lot of money. Of course, he might have shared this money to the other people. This comes also. So Dr. Salim Ali is one of the leading ornithologists. Initial years, you must have seen that he is also a hunter. So there is a conservation of biology or birds are important. All of us should need to take some knowledge on birds. That is very important. Okay. So finally, almost in the last slide, and if you have any doubt or any question, you can show this one. Hello, Kushaman. Hello.